if there was one role that you wish you could play or you want to play, what would it be? You know?
I want to be a Jedi, man.
Oh yeah.
We're all gonna die! Bah, 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 and I'm dead, I'm happy. So then they say, oh, do you know Zoe Tay? I'm like, no. So do you know Li Lanxi? I'm like, no, I don't know, right? I started at 7 a.m., worked till 7 p.m. It's literally like, action, cut.
1, 2, 3, yeah!
Hello, my good friends. Welcome back to another super exciting episode of Call Us Daddy. Today I have with myself my really good friend, our Singapore Aga, the one, the only Tay Ping Hui. What is up?
Hello, I'm the Singapore Aga. Some call me Aga. So Aga lah.
Aga.
After all these years. So yeah, hi, I'm Ping Hui. I'm a Singaporean actor. I've been acting for, jeez.
How long?
Too long.
Your hair's
Too
all white
long.
now, man. How
Too
long
long.
has it been? No.
I started in 1999. Kind of.
1999.
End of 98, beginning of 99. So that's really long. That's too long.
No, it's long. And I know. I think for a lot of us, we weren't the type that kind of grew up thinking we want to be on television or be in film. I don't think it was like a childhood dream of yours too. I know you graduated from NUS, got a double major in econ and poli-sci. So obviously nothing in the line of theater. How did you step into this world of acting?
I would say throughout my life, I never wanted to be an actor. So I think it all began, the cycle kind of began when I was about 18.
Okay.
I was training up, I was waiting to go to the army. And then I was on the streets, literally, right? I was just walking in the street. And then this really hot woman came up to me and said, I think you look really nice. I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Do I have a chance, right? So I realized that she's actually one of the top models in Singapore then. Serafina Fong.
Serafina, mannequin. Yeah.
Right?
Awesome.
So she said, I would like to invite you to join us as a model, and I'm sure you become one of the top models in Singapore. So I'm like, okay, sure, right? So I joined modeling, and modeling was good because it provided me with a source of kind of a full-time income on
Without
a
a full-time
part-time job, right? And then it actually put me through university and everything. Yeah, so it financed my school fees, my hostel fees, and everything. So I think my portfolio actually went up to Mediacorp when I graduated. So then they say, oh, do you know Zoe Tay? So I'm like, no. So do you know Li Lanxi? I said, no, I don't know, right? So then at that point of time, I wanted to be an economist or a banker or something in finance, So I said, okay, what are you offering? They give me a number. I looked at it and said, thank you, no thanks. So I went off. I carried on and had a corporate career.
How long did you have this corporate career for about?
4 or 5 years. I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, 4 years, 5 years. I was preparing to take my MBA. I wanted to go to the States to take my MBA.
Or do you want to go to Harvard?
Yeah,
that was a goal.
hopefully, because there are a lot of scholarships for us. There's a lot of scholarship available for us to go there and can lessen the burden. And while I was preparing, Mediacorp came again. So we have a single project, a single episode thing, 单元剧, they call it. So they say, oh, you'll be acting as this, this. I'm like, okay, single episode. So maybe the commitment is not so much, and I thought, maybe why not? It could be fun. So I did it, and apparently I did all right. And they offered me a formal contract again. And that point of time, I was quite familiar with contracts, negotiations and stuff. So I said, okay, I'll consult my lawyer, which is me, right? I took it home, I just changed the contract, and I had nothing to lose. So I'm like, okay, I change whatever I want. And then when I came to the final number, I just go, why not? I changed the number, right? So I said, this is my counter proposal. They took it and they just, all right, shit, and then one more zero. But I insisted on a single 1 year contract.
Okay, just to test
because
it out.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And after that, things just happened, and
the rest is his story.
Acting appealed to me because when I joined, I'm like, how hard can it be, right? You just pretend. But I've been humble. I'm very humble.
You are very humble.
Even today, I've been humble. Yeah.
You are very humble. I think for you, for everyone, what I find amazing is I think you had that opportunity, you met Serafina, she saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself.
Yeah.
And then you still kind of like went against the grain, you obviously was focused on your education, want to try the corporate world, but it kept on, the opportunity that I think, I wouldn't say destiny, just kept on knocking on the doors. Like, okay, Ping Hui, you gotta try it again. I think it was just you just finally saying, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
So you tried it for a year, I guess you had to quit your job, and that experience kind of like, what set the precedence for who you have become.
Yes, I think also being in the corporate role, in the real world, I call it.
Yeah, me too.
Entertainment is not a real world, by the way.
It's
right?
an REEL world, not REAL.
Yeah, and there's a lot of make-believe, and there are certain aspects of entertainment industry that makes you think you're something that you might not be. I think that's the correct way of putting it.
Yeah, I think it's easy for us, I think, to get disillusioned in this entire world because it's so inconsistent, and we're playing different roles, and our life is so up and down. You don't know what our next job is, so it's. I would never say it's for everyone. That we'll go into a little bit later, But I think for you, we've spanned over 3 decades doing this stuff.
Yeah.
About over 30 years. Like,
and I'm
a lot of highs, a lot of lows. I think. Can you share with us like one of the highest points, one of your fondest memories in entertainment, and what's probably one of the lowest points, like just working the long hours, 早班接晚班, or I'm not sure, like what would you say is something that you really, really fondly remember, and what are you glad you kind of like got over with?
I think the kids, I call them kids, the young artists nowadays, they have it good. So I think the worst I ever did was I started at 7 a.m., worked till 7 p.m. outdoors, and then we went into the studios, right?
Oh, yeah.
So 进场, they call it 接场啦.
Yeah.
So 你拍了外景之后，然后你接场。
直接进去。
So and then I went from 7 p.m. I had dinner or something, 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m. to the next day, 6:30, 7 a.m. And then went to the artist changing room to shower and shave, and then continue for another day, to the next day 7 p.m. Right? So that was allowed. And that was like accepted then, and you don't sleep. You just it's literally like action, cut,
just crash, huh? That's probably
okay, ready, action, cut. You've been through that.
I know,
right?
I'm with you too.
So we've been through that, but it was accepted. It was like
no one complained. I remember when we did 双天至尊 together. We did Unforgettable. That was all 那个大场面, right?
Yeah.
All the big scenes, all the time we're just sitting there waiting, just sitting there for hours and hours, not shooting anything. Right? I remember a line to this day. This is back in like 2003. I remember you said, our job is really to waiting to rush and rushing to wait. And you told me that, I'm like, dude, you hit it right on the nose.
Actually, that's the mantra in the army.
It is in the army too.
Yeah, you rush to wait, right? And then you wait to rush again.
And you're just waiting the whole time just to rush around and get screamed at and everything too.
Yeah. You were new then.
I was totally new, yeah.
You were a newbie, right? You were a noob.
Totally
So
new, yeah.
I think maybe you got a bit more scolding. I don't know.
I got a lot of scolding, from Ming Yang and everything too. But yeah, it was. I mean, I think having all these, I think established actors there too definitely helped me too. Give me the whole experience. It wasn't like I see you when you see like your predecessors and all your all established actors sitting through the 早班, in the morning we're there, nighttime we're shooting. It was like, okay, I guess everyone's here as a team trying to get through this job, and we're just there's no rest, there's no overtime pay.
No.
We're just they're just grinding us down to nothing, and we just accepted it too. But now it's not like that anymore. Now it's super cush.
No, I think it's also a matter of cost, right?
Yes.
So because overnight shoots you need to pay 1.5 times, and also restrictions in terms of the lightings and stuff like that. So part of the reason would also be the practicality of it. It's not practical to have overnight shoot unless you need a set or something else.
Yeah.
And I think from what I know right now, internally building the sets and using the sets internally is not as cost effective as shooting outside.
It is, yes, you go.
So there's a lot of considerations for that. There came a time where I remember I was shooting 4 or 5 dramas a year. So a typical drama would take about maybe
2-3 months.
3 months, 3.5 months.
Yeah, depends how many.
Right. So you kind of like overlap. So it's pretty much like, I finished today. You have 1 day break, and then the next day you're on starting pre-production for the new one. And So you have all these main drama productions, and then in between you're interspersed with charity show la, the stunts la, this la,
Yeah.
interspersed with events la, interspersed with other stuff that you
Commitments.
have to do, other commitment, marketing commitment that you have
Yeah.
to do. So, and after a while, you realize that all the roles just kind of merge into one.
It did.
Yeah, so it's very easy for you to just, okay, what am I doing tomorrow? These are my lines. Okay, I'll memorize it and go to sleep because you just don't get enough sleep. and
You're gonna
rest.
sleep. Yeah.
I always tell this joke to my friends, outside friends, 外面的朋友。
对。
Every year at the Star Awards, 我要感谢我外面的朋友。They know who they are, right? It's pretty much, I think I survived on 4 hours of sleep every day for more than 10 years. It's
Wow.
like that, including weekends.
Back when you were full on doing one major production. And the thing is, you're like the lead role. When you're a lead role, you're pretty much having scenes with everyone too. If you have a supporting role or you're Califair or you're 5 and under, then it's okay. Then the roles are a lot less, it's not so dense. But when you're the lead, you're there from morning, everyone's coming at you, I think. Though,
Yes.
Too. It's exhausting.
And there was the time where I kind of questioned it. What am I? Not the reason that I'm doing it, but it becomes like a factory lah.
Yeah, it is. It's
that's
a total
what's
factory.
happening.
It's assembly line.
So I think it comes after a while. You kind of like, where's my passion? Acting is something that you need to have passion for. It's not a pragmatic job. It's not something that you do it because it's good. You have to do it because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's tough. Like a fight scene, you've been through it.
Yeah, of course. Choreography.
A 30 seconds to a minute fight scene would take what, 3-4 hours
Yeah.
to shoot.
At least.
So especially the elaborate ones, so it's tough. A lot of people see this, like the glam and stuff like that, but they don't see the hard work.
Yeah.
And that was the time when I questioned it. The high point was
Yeah. What would be the high point? Other than working with me, what would it be?
Oh, that's one. That's one. That was.
Oh shit! Here's NG again. NG
That was the
again,
number
NG.
one main high point.
Okay.
Yeah, the slightly lower point.
Yeah, I know.
Was I think I was nominated for within the Star Awards context, right? That time,
Yeah.
locally. I think I was nominated for like consecutively 7-8 times maybe for Best Actor, right? But there's always
Someone else.
who got it.
Who
right?
snagged it?
Whether or not I agree with the decision is another
Probably
issue.
not, but yeah.
Yeah, but the one year that ironically I actually won the award. Finally.
For which
was-
哪一部戏啊? Which one?
Oh, it's where I acted as an Ah Bing,
Okay.
right? It's where I channel my inner Ah Bing. It's called Wan Fulo.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's for a comedy actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Which is ironic given my face, right? Comedy. So that's difficult, right? So that was a mini high point, much lower than working with you. And the other point was definitely having the opportunity to explore overseas.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into, I think. Yeah, I mean, I know basically you finally left Mediacorp. I think it was 2018, right? You finally decided not to be
Thereabouts,
full-time
yeah, I
anymore
think so, yeah.
and decided to explore working in
Yeah.
China. What was the reason that made you decide to leave Mediacorp finally after all these years to go explore more?
I had a conversation with some friends. They said, if you just stayed, Mediacorp will never ask you to leave. You will continue to get roles, etc. You will always be the archer,
对.
And charity show, big events, you will always come out last, stand in the middle with whoever. It's good to cruise and the money is good actually if you look at it. It's a very vicious pyramid. I'm sure you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
So I could just cruise, but I think it came to a stage where I was thinking, what's next? Because I wasn't really stimulated by what I'm seeing and what I'm doing anymore, right? So I needed something new or something to challenge myself because I always believe that if we do not challenge ourselves and if we do not, it's like you go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
To build the muscles up, we break it down.
Yeah, exactly.
When we train, we're actually tearing all our muscle
Micro
fibers.
tears. Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to try it, I wanted to do it. And I know that I can be the top dog in this small pond. I wouldn't say small pond, in a pond, right? I can be very comfortable. but I don't want to be, right? So I want to go out to the ocean and just, if I get eaten by sharks, then so be it. But no regrets, because it was a super humbling experience. Made me realize how so many different people work so differently in so many different places, whether it's Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, China, whatever. Even in Malaysia, you know, everybody works differently. And when I went there, what I saw was it was exponentially larger. It was exponentially greater and bigger.
The scale, right?
The scale,
Production.
and the mentality is just out of this world. I would recommend that every young artist, you know, if you think you're at the top of a game, you should check out what other people are doing. I think you'll realize that however good you think you are, you're not. However
totally
great
agree.
you think you are, you're nothing. Yeah.
How was that experience in China for you overall, though? Obviously, working there under those conditions, like
It was
especially
very
the Guzhuang stuff and everything too. You know?
Guzhuang, yeah. And ironically, many years ago, maybe about 15 years ago in Mediacorp, I said, hey, you know, why don't we do Guzhuang stuff? Or I would like to do some 造型. And they looked at me and they say, you know, 你不适合古装. Your face is not suitable to do any period dramas.
You're too modern looking.
Yeah.
Just
and
too
when I
good
went
looking.
China, all I did was period dramas.
I know, I remember that. You did
Right.
period
So
dramas, you know?
so where's that coming from? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
Just
I don't
someone's
know.
opinion.
Someone's opinion, and also I think it's also the styling, the dress, the art direction, etc. So my experience, it's something that I would carry with me, and it's something that has taught me and showed me the bigger things of the entire industry itself. I would not compare to Singapore because it's apples and orange. Market-wise, it's different.
Yeah, day and night.
Resources-wise, it's
Yeah.
different. Culture-wise, it's also different. I always go to this place called Hengdian in China.
Yeah, it's like the capital of all the
Right.
Guzhuang
It's
filming.
like the Eastern Hollywood. Lah,
Yeah.
You know, it's just a place where people don't go for
Holiday.
holiday,
Yeah.
right? You go there if
The grind.
to do something that's related to filming.
Yes.
So they built a real one-to-one size city.
Kingdom.
Kingdom. You have the Great Wall, you have the Forbidden City, you have Tang Dynasty buildings, you have Ming Dynasty buildings, you have natural mountains.
Full sets, huh?
Full sets, right? So, and what happens is that the place is huge. The place is bigger than Singapore. Just
This
that
this
place.
model, right? This of
Right.
like Guzhuang, all these historical places in China.
So just that place, if a film city is bigger than Singapore, right? So I think it would be very unfair to compare Singapore to China because we're not even talking about the cities, you know. We're talking about just that place. So for China itself, it was an eye opener because it's very, very professional. You know, for you as an actor, all you do is act. Like I'm sure that a lot of people who've gone there will say this, right? I wake up, I prepare, I walk out of my hotel room, a car will come and pick me up, and the clock starts, right? My working hours. I go to makeup, hair, I do all this stuff. I just sit there, they will do whatever they need to do. And then if I want to have breakfast, breakfast will be brought to me, I'll eat, memorize my lines. When I'm done, right, I don't need to do anything, I just walk down, wait for the car to pick me up, go to the set. However long it might take, the longest I've done is like 3 hours drive. So then I go there, if it's winter, there'll be a place, a tent for me to sit with heaters, right? If it's summer, there'll be fan or aircon. The wardrobe will be brought to me. I just stand up, I do this, and people will dress you. On set at any point of time, because I'm doing period dramas, right?
Yes.
There'll be two guys dressed exactly like me, right? One we call a wen ti, one we call a wu ti. Wen ti is the stand-in where, let's say you're doing your lights, right? The guy will stand in my position for the lights while I'm resting. The wu ti is, for example, if there's any fighting scenes, the guy would do the fight choreography, right? And practice with the lights, camera work, and before I come. So the scale and the professionalism is there.
Yeah.
And then when it's ready, they'll call me Ping Hui 大哥 or 老师, you know, you go to the set. And then, this is the X that you stand. You stand at the X, and then they'll do, you
Blocking.
rehearse, shoot. Once you're done with the take, 老师休息吧. Then you go back. No trailers lah. I don't have a trailer.
Yeah, I was
yet.
gonna say your trailer, man. What about your trailer?
No trailer yet.
You had the tent.
Yeah, tent. And you go and rest, and they just do the setup. I would say on average on set, maybe every day is 150 people.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's just crew, right?
Crew.
Not even actors.
No.
Yeah, they have critical
Right.
mass.
Right. At the 12-hour mark, technically, I can say thank you, everybody, goodbye. Even if they are not finished, I can technically say bye-bye.
Clock out.
Thank you, go. I can just go. And if there is going to be OT, they will come and like really humbling and say, is it okay for you to stay an extra 15 minutes for us to finish the scene? Yeah, it's like that. And I've seen actors and actresses just walk off.
Just done. Yeah.
But, you know, I'm carrying the Singapore flag. I take it upon myself. I feel the onus on me to
Set a good
be
example.
professional, set an example, never be late, know my lines, don't be a diva, be polite to everyone, say thank you, please. Being involved in that really opened up my eyes to how a real production should be. And I know that Hollywood is also like that. It's very demarcated. China, every role is demarcated. You know, everyone has their own role. You know, it's
Very,
not
very
a-
specific.
It's not a 一脚踢. You don't do
let's
everything.
do. Yeah, it's very, very specialized.
So I always believe that specialization breeds excellence. Oh, I just came out with that. Not bad enough for an actor.
Not bad. You can think for
Specialization
yourself.
breeds excellence. I had a taste on what's real, like the creme de la creme of it. You know how it should be.
A big China blockbuster production.
Yes, and it's very good because China actually learned all this from Hollywood. They have people filming in China. One of the conditions was you have to let the local technical people tag along and learn. And they learn. They learn fast.
They learn fast.
Yeah.
If there was one role that you wish you could play or you want to play, what would it be?
In China,
In China, here, anywhere. I think, some type of character, you
I
know?
want to be a Jedi, man.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be a Jedi.
You want to be a Padawan or you want to be like the Jedi
Jedi master,
Jedi
lah.
master, like a
And then
Yoda?
and then that would be cool, man. I mean, it'd be, you know, even if it's one of those, I run to the front of the camera, right? We're all gonna die, bah, 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 and I'm dead. I'm happy. I'll be happy.
You're a Jedi. You won't die. You won't die. You'll be blocking all the laser beams with your lightsaber.
I'll be happy. Yeah,
too.
that's a dream role.
Speaking of life and acting, you know, you've had such a rich experience in acting in life. Do you have any regrets at all? I think in life, not even pertaining to acting. If there's any regrets you've had at all, or no?
Yes, of course. You know, there are always roles that when you watch and you look back and you go, oh, shit, I did a shit job. You know, this one scene where taught me a lot. It still haunts me today. Maybe it will forever be in my head. I was a very experienced actor then already, but I became really technical, right? So it was a scene where one of my best friends died, and then I was supposed to be looking at the photos and then break down. So the camera was tracking in, and in my mind, the ultimate performance is always the camera tracking, when it stops, and then you have one tear coming down, whatever. So I said, oh, maybe I'll try that, right? So it came in, but I became too conscious of the camera and the lights and everything that I forgot about the performance.
Just about the tear.
Yeah, and I think I became arrogant, cocky maybe, subconsciously, but I didn't know it. And I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. So for that scene itself, for that shot, I was focused on getting it, right? And I lost concentration, and I didn't focus on the performance, and I couldn't do it. In my mind, I failed in that scene. Yeah, it still haunts me today. That's one of the biggest regrets. And after that scene, I've always bring it up to remind myself, you know, don't be an arrogant prick.
Have you ever thought about going to Hollywood?
For experience, yes. I think bilingual actors have an advantage because for me, okay, it's not a race thing, but I'm Chinese, so I can speak fluent Chinese, I can speak Cantonese. Both markets are available to us, the Chinese-speaking market and English-speaking market. Of course, the English-speaking market, for example, if you talk about Hollywood, I think it's a little bit more complicated than that because the market for Asian actors are very small. From what I understand is that the Asian community in the US is trying to have more Asian content. Like for example, one of the shows that I really liked was Beef.
Oh, Beef, yeah.
Beef.
Ali
think
Wong.
it's- Yeah. And then recently also, I went for casting for a series called Brother Son.
Yeah, I love that show on
Supposed to
Netflix.
be, ironically, for the role of Michelle Yeoh's husband. In the end, when I watched drama, I enjoyed it. I wasn't suitable for the role, so it's okay. It's okay.
If you like this show, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe. Hope to see the next one, but definitely a lot to learn, a lot to, I think, digest with the one, the only here. Thank you so much.
Yes. And after you watch this, go to my Instagram here, right?
Right here, yes, go for him. Don't forget to follow him too. Thank you so much, bro.
right.
Awesome. Thank you.
I had a shot where it's flooded with red, the camera comes down, and in front, supposed to be a gang initiating, and I had some real gang members, so I was quite scared of them. Not allowed. For any aspiring actors or actresses, I would say follow your dreams. If you really want to do it, do it. But then the next question will be the how.
Yeah, the reality of it, the practicality of it.